Are the coasters at King's Dominion amazing? Welcome to our top 5. Welcome back to another video, guys, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Today we are back at King's Dominion, and we recently did 2 top 5 videos here at King's Dominion and over at Busch Gardens, going over the top 5 historical facts at both parks. But today we're going to do things a little bit different, and we're going to do our top 5 roller coasters here at King's Dominion. We're going to take you from number 5 all the way down to number 1. We are already inside the park, so let's get to the first one on the list and have some fun. All right, and for our first one, we start making our way towards Planet Snoopy. We got to cross through here. The best ride, or the number 5 best ride, is not inside of Planet Snoopy, but we just got to make our way through. Now, guys, I know that this list will be subjective. I think a lot of you guys will agree with maybe number 1 and number 2. Those will be a little bit difficult to decide between who gets first or second, but I think you'll agree that they should be number 1 and number 2. But aside from that, if your list differs, let me know in the comments down below. And as we cross through Planet Snoopy, over there in the distance, you can see Toonbilly. Now, although in this area there isn't any of our top 5, I do got to mention, honorable mention, we have 2 of the best beginner coasters here with the Great Pumpkin roller coaster as well as the Woodstock Express. 2 rides for the youth and the little ones to start off their roller coaster enthusiast careers.
Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
All right, and at number 5, we cross over into Jungle Expedition and make our way to the back over to Stunt Lock Back Coaster. Now, this particular coaster was originally named the Italian Job when this park was owned by Paramount. It is a spectacular ride. The other day I actually came back and rode it for the first time in a really long time. You guys know I come to the park and sometimes I only ride a coaster or 2, and this has not been prioritized in a while. Recently rode it and had a reinvigorated love for this particular coaster. It is a great experience, very themed for a coaster here at King's Dominion. You have some other really themed rides that are coming along now in the new era of King's Dominion with Jungle Expedition, but this particular coaster has been in here for a while. Super fun. It's a little short, but I do love all the theming. There's a helicopter. It's basically you are going through a Backlot experience inside of a stunt car, and you get to do your practice run. Super cool. One that I definitely recommend, and a great number 5. And now we continue our way past the dancing and singing mushrooms with the one toad through Candy Apple Grove to our next, which is number 4. All right, and at number 4, we are at number 4 now. I'm wondering, did number 5 kind of trigger people? I feel like that's going to be the most controversial one here on the list. I don't believe that the top 3 are going to be too much of a big discussion, but at number 4, we have the coaster behind us, which is Racer 75. Another one that we recently rode here on the channel, and it was super smooth. I was impressed. It's been a while since I've ridden the coaster. Like I said, I come to the park and sometimes I get a little bit caught up, don't get a chance to ride everything as I'm filming these videos for you guys. And I rode it, and I gotta say, I was impressed. Super smooth wooden roller coaster. It's also a dueling coaster, been around for a really long time. Got the Landmark Award by Ace. So this is a super unique dueling coaster here at King's Dominion that I definitely recommend. It's not always dueling, unfortunately, and it also did get a recent retracking by the Gravity Group, the same people who are retracking Grizzly. Grizzly is not on today's list because before it was a really rough ride. I'm expecting that in the future it will be in this top 5. But for now, the wooden coaster that I add onto this list is Racer 75. And now we continue our way through the park. We're making it past Country Kitchen. We will be back maybe today to have dinner there. I don't know. We're going to definitely have dinner in the park at some point when this video is done. But man, I got to say, going through this top 5 and going through it in order is making us go all throughout the park. We're darting from one end to another, and we're going back towards the entrance. Can you guess what ride we're going to check out? Comment down below before I get there. And at number 3, we have arguably the most firm on this list. Number 5 is probably going to be a little debatable and probably cause a little bit of issue with people as far as what they think should be on this list. Number 1 and 2 can be interchangeable, but number 3 I think is firmly here at the park. Dominator. Dominator, we talked about just recently as it passes us and goes through the yellow loop on a recent video where we talked about historical facts here at King's Dominion, and I was surprised to find out that this floorless steel coaster was not original here at King's Dominion. It actually is a transplant from a Six Flags that was in the Great Lakes a while back. It's probably really loud. It was called Batwing before it came here, but a staple here at the park. It's one of the coolest kind of like landscape features here at King's Dominion when you park in front of the park, and also a great ride. And at number 2, we make our way to one of the most impressive and aggressive coasters here. Just kidding. I joke, I kid. The actual coaster at number 2, and arguably could be number 1, but no lower than number 2. 2 of the best rides here at King's Dominion, and possibly in the US you'll find here. And Twisted Timbers is our number 2. One of the most impressive coasters. It used to be the Hurler, which you could find over at Carowinds, still in existence right now. A super rough ride that was then transitioned into an RMC, which means it is a hybrid coaster. They use steel track, and they've added some crazy airtime as well as some crazy inversions for a wooden coaster. One that I definitely tell you cannot miss on your next visit here to King's Dominion. And in at number 1, we actually are not able to go check it out in person right now because it is closed. So instead, we grabbed ourselves a refreshing icy, cooling down in the spring sun, and it is standing at 305 feet, Intimidator 305, one of the most impressive coasters here at King's Dominion, and definitely, depending on who you are, interchangeable with our number 2. But the reason why I put it at number 1 is because I have never experienced a ride like this at any other park. I've experienced some great coasters over at Carowinds, over at Cedar Point, but like Intimidator 305, I have never experienced. This ride is extremely intimidating. One of the rides that is definitely not for everybody, and a lot of people avoid when they visit King's Dominion. But if you are brave enough, I definitely say that this is one that you should add to your coaster lineup. And if you're trying to get your coaster credits, one that you must do. No other coaster like it. That gray out experience from that 305-foot drop when you hit that turn is pretty intense. But overall, the rest of the ride is actually pretty awesome. Some of the coolest like airtime hills that you could go through because they're extremely high. The elements in that coaster are all super intense, but overall, one of the best coasters probably in the US and even more so probably in the world. Intense beyond belief, and something that if you're coming to King's Dominion, I 100% will say you need to check out. And there you have it, guys, our top 5 coaster list here at King's Dominion. This is a list that I definitely recommend if you're making a visit to King's Dominion for your first time or it's been a while. Make sure you don't miss out on these 5 coasters. If your list in particular is different than mine in any way, let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you agree with at least the top 3. I think those are arguably the top 3 for everybody's list. But that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed coming along. I'll see you guys on the next video. But don't forget to ask yourself, have you been entertained?